That's right. We're back again. Laurent, how you feeling, bro?
Bless. I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling
Are
like
you
a
feeling
winner.
74% amazing?
No, 100%, bro. No, 115. Bring on the 115. I dared him. Bring, bro. This year, this season, we want all the smoke, bro. We dealing with everything that's coming our way. Like I said, like I said. So you already know how I'm feeling, man. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling positive, and I hope you guys feel the same way after this weekend.
CJ, how you feeling, bro?
I'm blessed, bro. I'm feeling like a free man. I'm feeling like a man that doesn't have any charges hanging over my head.
Hmm.
You know, just walking the streets free of charge,
You need to
free
look
of
over your
guilt.
shoulder.
Yeah, bro. We do things the right way, clean over here. Hands are cleaned, all showered. Smelling nice and clean. Hands washed. Everything's blessed. Can't complain.
Mm,
Hmm.
Do you
mm.
agree, Mehrdad, or how do you
Oh,
feel?
I'm chilling. This is just amusement for me at this point, like just. And it's funny because we were talking about this. When were we talking about this? Oh, it was the last episode. Um,
How
it's almost
ironic.
like I'm a fortune teller, right? It's almost like I knew something was coming, so I, made you guys financial experts and but yeah, Chelsea, I mean, before we get into it, well, welcome back everyone. So 42. I haven't been doing it for the last couple episodes, so I do apologize. As always, my name's Mehrdad, co-host CJ,
Yo,
and Mr. Piana himself, Laurent,
Yes, sir.
Mr. 115, or I should say Mr. 74. But
Or
and
or
counting,
Mr.
and
or
counting.
Mr. 100. You
or
know what I
Mr.
mean? I'll
Centurion, or
I'll
Mr.
take that.
Centurion.
Uh,
Okay, Mr. Centurion. Um, so essentially, it came out. We can start off with this before we get into the Arsenal spotlight. Um, it was disclosed that the FA has charged Chelsea with 74 breaches of FA rules, mostly concerning agents, intermediaries, and third-party investments in players. These alleged infractions cover the period from 2009 to 2022, which most of the activity focused between 2010, 2011 to 2015, 2016. That's when Roman Abramovich was there and he was the owner. Apparently, after May 2022, when Todd Bowley took over, they did their due diligence. They looked at all the financial statements, and they're the ones who actually found it. And they reported it to the FA. Um, they said that they fully participated, which again, good on them. But specifically, the breaches include use of unregistered agents, intermediaries, undisclosed agent payments, misrepresentation or concealments in contract negotiations, and third-party investment plots.
Mm, mm,
Um,
mm.
so apparently, according
you guys
to
hear that? That's a desire to win right there. You do everything to win to win trophies. So let's get it. You guys keep your hands clean. You guys follow the rules, right? You guys are Mr. Polish, oh Mr. Arteta this. I come in to my board meetings with my suit. Oh, nah. We get our hands dirty and we carry the trophies with those same dirty hands. Yeah.
yeah, but it's also not a matter about just talking about the top six. We're also talking about the promoted teams, the teams that are mid-table that they don't have the same luxury as the top six or back then the top four because the timelines that we're talking about is when it was a top four. It wasn't even a top six, right? You guys were just coming into it, and we were going from a top four to a top five. So you guys were actually getting to sit at the big table for once. So it's it's a little. I mean, from one side. I mean, I get it. I get your point. They do whatever you have to do to win. But on the other side, it's what what's more annoying for me is that we've spent two going on to 3 years waiting for the 115 charges to be released and what's going to happen. Since that time, we've had Everton, Forest, Leeds, Leicester. Who else am I missing? We've had like four or five teams had their charges and had their points deduction and had everything come out, and we're still waiting for the 115. Um, whether this is a coy by Man City because they have endless funds and they want to bleed the Premier League dry to get a settlement that they want and drag it out as long as they want. I mean, I don't, I believe it because I believe Sheikh Mansour, the owner of the fund, the trust that owns Man City, I think it was a couple years back. I don't know if you guys remember when UEFA was looking into charging them. He literally was quoted in saying that I'd rather take UEFA to court and bleed them dry rather than, facing the charges. And UEFA found charges, but they never pursued it because they knew that it was going to be an endless court battle. And there's only so much funds that these organizations have, right? Like apparently the Football Association, the Premier League only has like 40 or 50 mil set aside for situations like these, and they've already blown through it. So it's So one side, yeah, I'll give it to Chelsea, give you the flowers for actually stepping forward and saying it, but you're still doing the same dirty stuff. You're selling your own women's team to yourself, you're selling your own parking lots to yourself, your own hotels, doing all this stuff. It's like you're making a mockery out of it and you're making an already uneven playing ground for mid-table teams and promoted teams even more unsustainable. So I think you guys are probably gonna face heavy, heavy sanctions. And
You
you
think
need
so?
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
these guys are just gonna get like a slap on the wrist and keep it moving, man. You know how it goes with these big clubs. They wiggle their way out of it.
I think they'll have a transfer window ban. I think they'll pay a fee
Listen,
and have a transfer
we
window
we
ban.
we got a we got enough depth in the squad to last how many windows, bro? So we're not too worried about that.
I mean, you say that now, but what if you pick up a couple injuries and then you're stuck playing like
Shit.
random next man's?
I mean, honestly, man, we're already going through a 1-2 injuries at the moment. Uh, yeah, I think we have about 3 or 4 players on the roster that are, and no, it's like I said, like I feel like we have enough players on the squad to make up for that, right? But in regards to right, you're saying, you're sensing sanctions to what depths? I don't know. Um, but I say, right, we wait till the day in court, and for any further comments, talk to our lawyers.
Well, you guys have 8 days. You guys have till September 19th to respond formally to the charges.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I seen that.
It's
I
going to be
seen.
but again, here's the thing, like how is it that Chelsea gets such a quick turnaround and then we've been waiting 3 years for City?
Mm,
It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. Like I get it. Maybe Chelsea aren't the darlings of the Premier League anymore, and Man City are the darlings of the Premier League, and maybe that's why. But it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
You hear that, bro? You guys are no longer the darlings of the Premier League. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I don't feel too worried about that. You
Mm.
know, it's like I said,
But
man. You guys have your time. Like whoever else, right, came in, swiped the spotlight from us. But it's only a matter of time until the Chelsea insurrection, is back in full effect.
nothing is stopping the Centurions this season.
No, no. Like I said, man, my point still stands. Like you guys know what kind of energy I came with at the beginning of the season. Clearly, you guys are still seeing that energy now. And yeah, like I said, I feel like this year is just another thing that the club is going to have to overcome. And the football, right? It's still going to be football, game days, Champions League, uh, Premier Leagues, no conference leagues, and yeah, we'll do our talking on the pitch.
Yeah, I
Right.
have a question. I have a question. Laurent, would you sacrifice Champions League, like playing in the Champions League this season, if someone told you that you're guaranteed to win the Conference League again this year?
No? What?
Why not?
No, why would no? That doesn't make. I remember I said we weren't initially. I was like, okay, we weren't ready for the Champions League,
Hmm.
right? And I do believe with the Conference League winning that you automatically qualify for.
Europa.
Yeah, the competition above. So that would have been suitable, right? So if anything, I don't know why you even asked for Conference League. You should have probably switched it to Europa League when you're
Hmm.
phrasing the question. But even now, no. Even if Europa was guaranteed, um, at this stage, I feel confident that the team can produce some serious results. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you said that you surprised that I asked the question, but I was going somewhere with this. So the where I was going with this is the fact that you know how you and I'm not even saying you necessarily did this, but I had a couple of Chelsea fans around me who would kind of say, oh, like we won a trophy last year, you guys didn't, and oh, Chelsea is the first team to win all three of the European trophies, right? Like the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. Chelsea the first team to do it,
Right.
whatever. So that argument, along with the fact that Chelsea won last year, won a trophy, and Arsenal didn't, is all to me. It's kind of like, well, yeah, like in order to, me and Mehrdad were saying this for a while in a different tone of voice, but it's all leading down to the fact that yeah, if you're in the Conference League, right, like respectfully, you were shit enough or you weren't good enough in the elite competition in Europe or even the second tier competition in Europe, right, in the Europa League to play in those competitions. Therefore, you drop down to the Conference League. So it's almost like yeah, if you're in that like you're telling me now you wouldn't because the whole thing is oh we won a trophy, you guys didn't. But I wouldn't have sacrificed like if you told me like I'd rather be playing in the Champions League from Arsenal, right? I didn't win it at the end of the day, but I want to compete to win it. I want to compete to win one of the best trophies. Don't put me in the Conference League just because you're guaranteeing me a trophy. And now all of a sudden by the end of the season, it's like, oh, we won a trophy. Like if anyone, and you're confirming it now, right? If anyone gave you the option to play in the Conference League again, you wouldn't want to play there. That's not where you want to play. That's not where Chelsea Football Club wants to play. You want to play in the top tier competitions, right? You want to play in the Champions League, the biggest of the biggest. So
Mhm.
when the end of the season comes around and people say, or a Chelsea fan would say, "Oh yeah, well we won a trophy, you guys didn't." Even Spurs, right? When with the whole Europa League thing, it's like realistically, you guys don't even want to be playing there now, right? Because if anyone offered a Spurs fan or a Chelsea fan those competitions again this year instead of Champions League, if it meant guaranteeing them a trophy, y'all wouldn't take it. Maybe Spurs would because they're starved of trophies generally, but I feel like Chelsea wouldn't want to take that. So again, I wanted to it randomly came to my mind, and it just your answer proved my point. It's like you're not going to sacrifice playing in the Champions League again to maybe guarantee another Conference League because at the end of the day, like what is that? What is that trophy? It's a trophy. It's a consolation prize for a tournament that no big club should be in. You see what I'm saying?
But my answer would have been different if the squad wasn't ready. Because remember initially I told you guys that we have no business in the Champions League. I don't know if you guys remember that towards the
Yeah.
end of
Yeah, you said that.
the last season, right? And this was more so, like I said, for me, and even to counteract your point here, right? And I see the point you're making that it's important to compete at the highest levels. I don't disagree with that. But you also have to acknowledge, right? Because again, context is key, right? We always like to use that word nowadays. But you have to acknowledge where a team is at, okay? Maybe, right? They've fallen from a series of highs, right? To now a series of lows. And sometimes you have to build momentum to come back stronger, right? And these small wins do exactly that, okay? So even in the case of teams like Newcastle, Spurs, right? Some people might disagree and say that, well, these aren't the biggest of trophies. But if I'm a Spurs fan, right, or even if I'm an owner, I have to look at what these trophies can do for the morale of the club going forward, right? Because a lot of players they win this, and man, like they have the confidence that we can do this again next year, right? So it pushes a team. Whereas if you enter like a competition, and maybe right the skill gap is too high, for example, for where your club is at, and you don't even make it out of the group stage. You see what I'm saying? Right? Where you have nothing to kind of work off of. Yes, you've played at the highest level, you competed against the best of the best, but oftentimes, more so than not, right? You don't really take home anything from that, right?
Yeah, but
You,
respectfully, Laurent, like I would rather like if I'm a Chelsea player, I'd rather say that I got knocked out in the semifinals to a PSG who went to win it all than to say that I beat Drew Garden semifinal to go win a Mickey Mouse trophy. Like no one like if from what you're saying, if your club and your players are getting confidence, beating up on players that probably have a day job that are like, they work a day job and then they come play football in smaller nations, then there's something else going on with the morale and motivation. Like I would rather be, you know, facing the top elite and maybe losing on aggregate, maybe losing on penalties, but knowing that, okay, we went to the semis and we lost to the team that won and won it all, right? Rather than just winning a trophy for the sake of winning a trophy that doesn't really mean anything in the long run.
Well,
Like,
I mean, I would disagree on. I see what you're saying. I mean, also, right? You almost it's like you guys are forgetting what happened after that, right? You
no, no,
talked
no,
about
no,
the
no.
you guys
I'm
talked
not.
about the elite of the elite. Well, we beat them too to get another trophy. Just you know what I mean? Like
Yes,
back to
yes,
back.
but then again, if we go into that competition as well, the best teams in the world were not in it. Like the current Italian winners were not in it. Like there's so like you said, there's so much context into it. It's not an attack at Chelsea. It's just like if you're making a point about the morale and the motivation of the players, like for a Spurs, of course.
Yeah,
Of course, like if Spurs won Conference League, that would be a big morale booster, similarly to Europa, right? I think this is a bigger jump for Spurs,
correct.
and
I
I
was gonna
think they're
piggyback on
gonna
that.
they're
Hmm.
gonna
It,
struggle with this, right? But like for example, Newcastle, they're gonna have that balance because they just won a trophy. Look at Palace. They just won their first trophy and they like beat Liverpool in the Community Shield. Whatever you want to say about the Shield, it's still the first trophy. Still
Yeah,
the first chance at some form of silverware. Yes, I understand it's a charity shield, but like when Arsenal say we win the charity shield, everyone makes fun of us. But when a Palace for their fan base, like that's gold for them. Like because they're realistic with it, right? That's why you make fun of not you, but that's why Chelsea fans, Spurs fans make fun of Arsenal when they're like, oh yeah, we've won the shield a couple times. Because the bar isn't that low for us. You know what I'm trying to say? So people are going after CJ being like, oh, at least we won a trophy, Arteta 6 years. Okay, yeah, but we're not like respectfully, and I'm not trying to come to Arteta's defense, but respectfully, we're not going for Mickey Mouse trophies. We're
you know,
going
yeah,
I'm
big
almost
thing.
curious as to if you guys would have shared the same answer. If this was earlier in Arteta's reign when everything was looking chaotic. The guy just
Of
comes
course
in.
not. Of course not.
Um,
Context is
you
everything.
guys just lost, or Wenger just left, right? And then you guys win the Conference League, or well, the Conference League I don't even think
Could have won the Europa League against United.
was even then back then. No, but but you see what I'm trying to say, right? Yes, obviously the winning that for a club like Spurs, contrast contrasted to a club like Chelsea, does hold more weight for them than it does for us. But mind you, right? You guys are almost forgetting, like, bro, we had Graham Potter not too long ago. We sacked our other managers. What's the guy? The German guy, Tuchel, right? Bro, I think we brought back Lampard for a stint. You see what I'm saying? Like it was pure chaos, pure
mm.
chaos,
See, for
right?
me, sorry, continue, continue.
Yeah, no. So what I'm saying is, it's like the club was in such disarray, and mind you, this all started with when Mr. 74 got was asked to sell the club. Okay. And ever since then, the club has not looked the same. And you guys can all agree with that. So now, right, we're trying to find our footings and we keep sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. To a man who has lost everything, right? The smallest of win means a lot. And that's usually what it takes for that man to then come back on his feet and to ascend again to the position to which he once held, right? Like if we're right to a person who has nothing else, like you're pretty much at the bottom of the bottom. So now, yeah, you gotta win. You gotta win small. You win small, and then you keep winning, and then you come back to try to reach what you've once held before. So I understand. You guys are right in saying that, yes, right, you gotta compete with the best of the best. But I can tell you right now that at the stage where we were at, that would have been unrealistic. From the optimist that I am, I can tell you that would have been unrealistic. Bro, how many we play Champions Leagues like with the squads that we have, with the managers that we have, bro, we'd be getting slapped.
Mm.
Yeah, but see, but this is my thing. You just made a good point. Like you're the
Hmm.
most optimistic of the optimistic, right? You'll take on any challengers. You don't care, right?
Hmm.
Centurions, all that. Like you're an optimistic guy generally, right? You go on on the field, whether you're playing yourself or whether it's your team. You think that you can do whenever you step on the field, you have a chance to win always. You're not afraid of the opposition. So Chelsea Football Club should not be afraid of that kind of challenge, right? Like you're talking about taking the gradual steps, right? It was just last season. I think this was 3 years ago. You're saying just last season, you guys were not ready, and all of a sudden you see your team win a Conference League and then a Club World Cup, and now all of a sudden, within a few months, you think your team is not ready to win the league and win the lot, go Centurions and all that.
Yeah, go Centurion.
You know what I mean? So like that's a pretty big jump to say in just a few short months. And for me, that should be probably maybe not the Centurions per se, but that should generally be Chelsea's. Chelsea's a big club, right? So, like you said, for Spurs and for Newcastle, right, a Conference League is a big step, but Chelsea shouldn't be boasting about the Conference League win and hold that as, oh, we won a trophy, you guys didn't. Like you guys shouldn't be in that competition to begin with. And you're talking about
Wait, who's
gradual
saying
steps,
that? Who's saying that?
just generally, right? That's a common rhetoric that I've been hearing throughout the summer, and I feel like at one point maybe you were saying it too earlier podcast, but it probably was just like a little bit of banter in that. But my
Hmm.
main thing being that you're saying at that time too, like you wouldn't have taken Champions League and because it was about gradual steps because you guys weren't ready to compete. But I don't think if you asked any Chelsea player, right, oh, we're not ready to compete in the Champions League. So do you want to take one more year break off of Champions League and then go to the Champions League the following season, right? Would you want to go to Europa League first and then go to Champions League? Like that's kind of how you made it sound, right? It's like you want to take a small step and then eventually get there. Even if you don't think you can compete, you don't want to be, or sorry, if you don't think you can compete, you don't want to be in that tournament just because, you think that there's no point. You're going to get slapped anyways. But for me, when you were asking me, or when
Hmm.
you're asking us, a few years ago, would we have taken, that small step in order to get back to the big table? Sometimes a process, funny enough, that word process can be expedited, right? So I'll
Mm.
take you back to, and Mehrdad will remember this vividly, when Arsenal was competing for top four, right? It was the season that we bought in Odegaard, we bought in Ramsdale, um, Aubameyang was still playing at the club. Lacazette was still playing at the club. So we had finished fifth, and we lost to Spurs in that year in a top four battle. Right, it was close towards the end of the season. There was a game against Spurs and Arsenal to basically whoever wins that game gets top four. And if you
Hmm.
remember, Mehrdad, Spurs won. They slapped us 3-0 at their ground. Rob Holding got sent off. Um, and we technically actually bottled it from that position because we had fourth spot, and then Spurs beat us, and then we lost to Newcastle afterwards, and then so basically we lost our fourth spot, and then we finished fifth that season in Arteta's one of his third or fourth season, and he was ridiculed for that, from bottling a position from top four. So we ended up finishing fifth. The next year, people said, "Oh, we would have been content with top four." Right? That's to get back into the Champions League. That was the remit. Get Arsenal back into the Champions League. So we had finished fifth that season. The following season, get back into Champions League. But what
Hmm.
happened the following season? Famously, that was the first of Arsenal's title race, right? We bought Jesus, we bought Zinchenko. Arsenal took most of the league that year by storm, caught everyone off guard by the way we played, the football that we played, etc.
Hmm.
Um, and we were in a title race. Never mind top four, right? We were in a title race all of a sudden. That's our first title race in years, right? That same season we bought Jesus. So
Hmm.
what's my point? My point being is that when we lost out that season, we were upset that we didn't win the league. Never mind top four. Like we got top four easily that year, right? Because we were in the title race. But we never said, oh, if we got top four, like I'm content with that alone. That makes a good enough season. Like we were upset when we lost the title that season to Man City, right? Because
Hmm.
we were in a strong position, right, to win the league, and we didn't end up doing it in the end, right? We technically kind of bottled that as well, but we lost Saliba, we lost Tomiyasu, if you remember Mehrdad as well. We lost some key players to injury, so therefore we didn't win the title in our first title race season, right? The 22-23 season, and that was the season City won the Champions League. By the way, I think that was their treble season, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So my point being is like the season before we finished fifth, right? We bottled top four, we finished fifth. The following season should have just been, you know what? Let's get back into the top four. We'll be happy with that. But we actually expedited our process, and we were in a title race, and we've been in a title race ever since, right? Fast forward to 2025. Yes, we still haven't won it, but we've been in a title race from that point onwards. So basically, with all the shit I give Arteta, I will give credit where credit is due. He expedited that process of we finished fifth the season before, right? And Spurs had finished ahead of us. They're laughing at us, ha ha ha, boom, boom, boom. Since then, the following season, where have we been and where have Spurs gone, right? Spurs have gone down. We're now all of a sudden in a title race. Arteta didn't just get us into top four the following season. He got us in a whole title race. And we've been a
Hmm.
title contending club ever since. So it sounded like a long-winded explanation there, but what I was kind of saying is that a process can be expedited, right? No one would have thought we would have been in the title race the following season, and we were in the Champions League. We breezed to get the top four that year, right? And then all of a sudden we
Hmm.
find ourselves in a title race. So kind of for me, it's like I don't want to take a small gradual step if it means that I can expedite a process by one or two tweaks or one or two signings, or you know what I mean. My thing should be like, okay, Chelsea is a big enough club. It's not a Newcastle, it's not a Spurs, right? Where win the Conference League, that is something they should celebrate. Chelsea should be like, okay, if I win the Conference League, even if I don't think my side is good enough, I'm all hands on deck. I'm grasping the Champions League the next season. Just because it's Chelsea Football Club. It should be Champions League or nothing really. Like anything less than Champions League for the size of Chelsea should, is disappointing really. So I was at that time surprised to hear you say that you didn't feel like you were ready, and you almost rather not have competed in it just because you didn't feel like it was any point for your club at the side. But for me as an Arsenal fan, I would have taken that, even if I didn't feel we had the squad at that time to compete. Well, if I make the Champions League, I get Champions League money in the summer, so therefore I can recruit better players and so on and so forth, right? From a player's perspective, a club's perspective, you want to expedite that process as fast as possible because that's where your club should be ideally.
No, I like that. I like the way you're standing on it. I'm just surprised like that wasn't the approach you had when it came to the Liverpool game, right? Because we're talking about challenges and right meeting the challenge head on. And
Mhm.
I agree with what you said, but it's um and I know I don't want to digress into that, but it's almost like where was this when it came to predicting, backing your club in under the context of Liverpool, right? Because you too, in that case, understood who the opponent was,
Mhm.
right? And you assessed the caliber of the opponent, and essentially that's kind of what I was assessing as well, right? The caliber of the opponents relative to my club. And if you wage the gap or the two, right? Liverpool, Arsenal, you guys fare far closer than if I were to say Chelsea and any other big club in the Champions League competition. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of why where I was like I was hesitant because let's be real. João Pedro is not on the team, right? Are we still the same club? Let's say we're still relying on Jackson. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
right? And then mind you, again, not even just that, because there's a lot of moving pieces that brings us to the club that we're seeing today. And if that's the club, right? I don't know what the transfers or the signings would have looked like, right? Who knows? It's now it's all right an alternative possibility. But if we didn't even like our playing style, like let's say it was still the same Chelsea that finished last season, right? And we didn't win the Club World Cup. Maybe we didn't even fare too well in that competition. Right now, as a Chelsea fan, should I really still be like, oh man, yeah, we can go out there and win the Champions League
Well,
or win the league?
whether you think you can win it or not is one thing, but you should still want to compete in that as opposed to not wanting to
Mm,
compete in it. Is my thing.
mm, mm.
Well,
Okay, I see what you're
someone who is going to be competing in the competition that he just won, uh, Ange Postecoglou
saying.
is back. Um, Marinakis, the owner of Forest, he has officially parted ways with Nuno Espirito Santos, and just like every single time that Arsenal play a team, they always have a new manager. That new manager bounce seems to always happen when Arsenal plays a team. So Postecoglou's back. He's going to be taking over Forest. He's going to be back in the Europa League that he just won. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to make Forest play the game style that he wants. Um, because coming to the Emirates is a tall order. But the new manager bounce is a real thing. Not I don't want to make excuses, but I just want to point out the real fact. Like it is a real thing. We saw with Sean Dyche at Everton. We've seen it with Frank Lampard at Chelsea. It's just happened over and over and over again. Um, CJ, I know off air we were chatting about the starting 11 that I had predicted. Raya, Timber, Mosquera, Gabriel Calafiori, Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Eze. First start for Eze as left wing. First official start for Mosquera, because last game he came on because Saliba was injured. For me, I think that that's the starting lineup to go with. There's no other lineup that I'd want to see. The only other lineup that maybe I would be able to stomach is if you put Rice instead of Zubimendi and then put Odegaard and Eze and then bring Martinelli as left wing. I could respectfully, I could fuck with that.
No, no, not for me. Martinelli he should go even behind Trossard in the pecking order now, bro. I'm being so harsh and so done with that guy that he doesn't deserve starting 11 minutes at this moment in time, to be
But
Damn.
honest with
you saw that video I sent. Like he always turns up with Brazil. His passport is alive and well when he's traveling with the national team. But whenever he comes back, and I think we chatted about it towards the end of the season during the off season, like sometimes the jersey's too heavy, and I feel like the jersey's weighing on him. Um,
you.
but
Honestly,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
mm, well, for in his case, I was gonna say the weight of the Brazil jersey is just as heavy, if not heavier, than the Arsenal jersey, to be honest, because of how much expectation there is in Brazil. And don't be surprised if he doesn't get in the final World Cup squad for Brazil for next year. He was only in this squad, right? Ancelotti left out players because he's looking at certain other players. You know what I'm saying? Like Vinny's, the Rodrigos of this world, they would normally be in this side and playing, right? But I think Ancelotti was having a look at some guys ahead of the tournament for next year and so on. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Martinelli doesn't make it. Especially because this season, I can see him really being a bit part player for us this season, or should be, right? I say that. I say he should be a bit part player for us this season. He should be coming off the bench, right behind the likes of Eze. There's a lot of competition out there too. You know, Madueke, when Saka's fit, I think Madueke will probably go back out there on the left. So yeah, I don't know, man. Martinelli, it's looking kind of spooky for him.
I have a question for you that I wrote down. So first international break is in the books. What's your expectation coming out of the international break? Typically, we're really good at coming out of international breaks. I think it was 2 years ago when we came out from Dubai. We went on a screamer and we pushed City to the last game of the season for the title race. Um, first international break of the year. Like, what is it that you're looking for? We got 3 games into the books. What's your expectation of the players coming out after the international break? What do you want to see?
Well, I'm not going to speak just for this game, but I'm going to speak about for going forward because again, typically for any club, right, coming back after international break, players may be a bit leggy, jet lag and whatnot. So they're not going to be maybe up to speed in terms of cohesion and whatnot. Like Arteta wouldn't have gotten a lot of time on the training ground with them this week. Um, but that being said, like I said, I'm going to speak for games going forward. Just generally, right in these next few games, Premier League, Champions League, we need to play with more speed and more tempo in attack, right? I want to see a more fluent Arsenal in attack going forward, right? With that needs to click, right? The Anfield thing is done. No more experiments of three, DMs and three conservative midfielders on the pitch, right? We have the best defense in the league already, right? Statistically, at least on paper, the last 2 years with clean sheets, goals conceded, things like that. It's like trust your defense, and let your attacking players go and play. We don't need to, Anfield, like Anfield away, Liverpool away, and I called them the title favorites. You guys know that. So to go away from home to the Champions League title favorites, that's the hardest game you're going to play in the Premier League all season. I believe we should be favorites for every other game that we play because I still back us to be there or thereabouts, right? So um, yeah, I expect
Respectfully,
us to.
though, sorry,
Sorry.
I just want to challenge your 3DM respectfully though. We saw during this international break that Mikel Merino has scored a hat trick.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
He
And the
may
thing is,
not be a like he may not have the legs to be in the midfield, but he may be a false nine or he may be, you know.
and I like him in a false nine position. We just have to use him right for Arsenal, right? But we can say what we want to say about him and scoring goals in international break and whatnot. We all know international football is different than Premier League football, pace of the game, all that. Especially the midfield position that we are using him in, right? We're not getting the best out of him that way, to be honest with you. So yeah, I still look at that as a more conservative approach. We all know at Anfield we had three legitimate cams on the bench in Odegaard, Eze, and Ethan Wanyeri. And to put Mikel Merino in there was definitely a more conservative approach. I don't care what anyone says, to be honest with you. I think that's the last time we should do something like that. Like I said, we should be favorites in most, if not all, the games we have left going forward. We got the toughest game of our season out of the way. We didn't get the 3 points, didn't get any points. That one stung for a bit, but now I expect us to play on the front foot in literally almost every game we play, and I'm going to include Man City in that. And when we play Man City next week, we'll talk more about that and we'll dive deeper into that. But I'm telling you, like, we need to be on the front foot. It starts this week at Forest, and if it was up to me, like you said, if we're going back to the Arsene Wenger days, the Arsene Wenger type football, I would play with just one DM and have Eze and Odegaard playing two cams, run free,
Especially at
you
home.
know, especially
Especially
at
at
home.
home. It's different if we went to the Forest ground, I wouldn't do it because the Forest ground
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
I
magical
agree.
moments.
I agree.
You have to respect the different grounds and the different atmospheres that you walk into. Like you would never do
Mhm.
that at St. James's Park, for example.
Yeah.
Villa Park. But at home, yeah, that's where you experiment because it's like you have the backing of the crowd, you have your fans. Uh,
And Forest is a side. They just changed their manager. They lost 3-0 to a poor West Ham team before the international break. Like, yeah, these are the times, and these are the sides where you kind of step on the throat or step on the neck while they're weak and while they're vulnerable, so to speak. Metaphorically speaking, it's like you
go for
kind
the
of kick them
trigger.
while they're down, 100%.
Yeah.
So, and I agree. I just wanted to say I agree with your lineup. We talked about it off air, but 100% that's what I would do. No Saliba, no Saka. I mean, we have a squad now to be able to cope with that. And again, Forest at home, I think that side should get the job done. You know what? And a quick question I wanted to ask you both, actually, just about the sacking itself. Like, what did you guys think about Nuno getting sacked? Whoever wants to go first. Like, was it a harsh sacking? Was it a justified sacking? What do you guys think?
Laurent, I'll let you go first because we haven't been kind of dominating the segment.
Yeah, I think it seemed pretty harsh. For me, it's what 3 games, right? And I think he was split win, draw, loss. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it was quite harsh, if I'm being completely honest.
I didn't
Which
like it.
Yeah, which is why I feel like there's definitely things most likely going on behind closed doors, right? That we don't know about.
100%.
Yeah, well,
100%.
it came out
Yeah.
that he was disagreeing with Edu. He was disagreeing with
Yeah.
Marinakis. They already had that spat, Marinakis and Nuno, last year on the pitch.
Right.
Where that's where, if I remember correctly, Gary Neville on his little pod that he does after the football, Sunday Night Football, he always talks about it, and that's why he's banned from the City Ground because he didn't agree with the owner coming on the pitch, like essentially undermining the manager or the coach. And I agree with him. Like do that behind closed doors. It's like
Hmm.
for example, you and your loved one in front of all your family and friends, you have a full-on fight. Like that's for behind closed doors. When you're out in public, you put on that professional face because the kids don't need to know what's going on. Right? And I think that was the beginning of the end of Nuno. And I think it's harsh because Nuno did an unreal job.
Mm.
Mm.
Like he did an unreal like he's a good coach.
He's a very good coach.
And I think if Graham Potter gets sacked in West Ham, I wouldn't be shocked if West Ham goes in for him right away. So I don't know if that answers your question, CJ, but did you think it was harsh?
No, that's why I agree with you. I don't think it was harsh at all. And Laurent, you were kind of talking about. I wanted to add to your point, Mehrdad, because Laurent, you were saying, things must have been going on behind closed doors. That's the problem. It wasn't behind closed doors, and that's where it was almost going to be the beginning of the end for Nuno, because when you're having a public spat like that with your boss, essentially, right? He even also came out in post game interviews, right? You know, kind of criticizing and talking about his boss in that sense, right? And when you come out in any line of work, right, you publicly belittle or badmouth your boss, you're pretty much screwed, right? You're at a point of no return in any line of work, right? So once he started doing stuff like that, um, it was always going to be the beginning of the end for him. And I feel for him because, yeah, you can, even the players apparently were disappointed that he was sacked. I don't think it had anything really to do with his performances on the pitch. Look where he's brought them to. It's just like I said, when you get into it with your big boss and the big general ahead of you, then yeah, it's not going to end well for you. So it was always going to happen. So, but it's nothing against him as a coach. He's a very good coach.
No, he's unreal.
Would you guys think this would have been the same result had they won a trophy or had they won something last year?
100%.
Maybe
100
really?
would not have
Mm,
made a difference.
mm,
Nope. Nope.
Yeah,
For
because he
God's sake,
ruined that relationship.
look at Postecoglou and Spurs.
Mm.
mm.
Pretty sure where he finished in the league, but he just won a trophy. Like, so no, there's different things. Um, let's start breaking down some of the other games in the Prem this weekend. We got a full slate. We got a couple big games. Um, the ESAC list, Newcastle. Finally, we can say it. I was wrong, CJ. Hold me to it. I was wrong. I didn't think Isak was going, but the Isak list, Newcastle welcome Lonely Wolves to St. James's Park. Both teams don't have a win yet, and they're both looking to, get on the board with their first win. I don't expect anything else aside from a Newcastle beatdown, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see Woltemade starting, or coming off the bench for a cameo and have maybe Osula start for the first like 40, 50 minutes. And then have Woltemade come for the last 30 because Anthony Gordon is still suspended. He's got, I believe, one more game. I think this is the last game that he has. Um, that I think it's just gonna be easy. Like Wolves are going down. Can we all agree the way that
Yeah,
they've
I
been?
think I predicted them. Yeah.
Laurent,
Yep.
Fulham. Tough loss to Chelsea last before the international break due to VAR. Apparently the PGMOL came back. No, PGMOL came out and they said they made a mistake. There was no foul.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they came out and they said there was no foul. They didn't need to go back and look at it. So they welcome Leeds.
Yeah, was your signature in the petition
It
to get
was
PGMOL's review?
100%. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Even if it was Fulham versus Arsenal, I would have said that that's a bullshit call.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, like what?
100%, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's where you being noble like just stops. Like at that point there. If there was Arsenal, you wouldn't not.
Yeah, but it's not about one game. It's about what it's going to ruin and this precedent it's going to set for the rest of the season. So yeah, of course I would be like, yeah, that's a bullshit call. Am I going to be happy that it got overturned so that my team could win? Of course I'm going to be happy, but I'm also going to understand that it's a bullshit call. And I'm going to agree with all a Fulham fan.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm gonna catch you when I'm
Okay.
remember that.
Yeah, catch me outside. How about that? Um, yeah, Fulham welcome Leeds to the Cram Cottage. Um, I think it'll be a tough game. Leeds played Newcastle quite tough at home, but now heading to Craven Cottage is quite hard playing there. I mean, I say that, but I expect a Fulham win. I don't think it's going to be anything aside from that. I think it's going to be scrappy, but I do think Fulham squeeze out a 1-0 or 2-1 victory. You guys see it any different?
Hmm. Yeah, I think Fulham will win.
This is one of the
Yeah,
big. Oh, sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
This next one's one of the bigger games of the weekend. Not super high, but just with the context of it. Um, my overachieving team, Jack Grealish led Everton. They welcome Villa to their new stadium. Grealish's homeboy club,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think Newcastle win. Oh, sorry, Newcastle. What am I saying? Newcastle. Oh my days! This water is really good. Um, I think Everton win. I think Everton wins, and I think for any of you who haven't got Jack Grealish on your FPL team, get him because I think he's gonna score. I think he's gonna score against his boyhood club. CJ, did you add him? I
I'm
think
working on it, man. I had to see who came back from international break, fit and healthy and whatnot. But yeah, it might be a good shout. I might have to add him.
yeah, I captained him this week.
You might have to.
Yeah, I captained him. I got Mateta up front. That was
Mm.
captain. Speaking of Mateta, Hey, facing Sunderland. No Eze, no problem, apparently, for Palace. Mateta, Sar, Wharton, they've been on a roll.
Yeah.
Absolute tear.
Glasner is a good manager, man. I'll say.
Oliver Glasner he's a real deal.
Mhm.
And to see what they're doing without Eze, seeing what they did last year without Elise, like they're no joke.
Put his foot down to make sure they kept Mark Gahey.
Yeah,
Like he's not playing around.
yeah. So again, this game, as much as I love Sunderland, as much as I think Granit Xhaka's, I love having him back in the Prem, Palace should win this, and I don't think they would concede because they do have a decent keeper in Dean Henderson. Um, one of the toss-ups of the weekend, Bournemouth versus Brighton. Brighton heading to Bournemouth. Bournemouth looked good this year. You know, we saw it in the opening game against Liverpool. We saw what they did to Spurs. The odds are pointing towards a draw, but I don't know. I just feel like Bournemouth at home at the Vitality, I just have a feeling that they might be able to squeeze like a 2-1 or like a 1-0 victory. I don't know. I don't get a good feeling about Brighton traveling coming off the international break. And Semenyo's been playing extremely well first three games. And
Mm,
correct me if I'm wrong, he scored on international break too, no?
I think you might be right about that. I feel like I did see something in that respect.
I think he scored. Because who does he play for again, Semenyo? He plays for
Ghana, isn't it?
yeah.
It's Ghana, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he scored. So, he's a big dude, eh? Like he's like for a winger to be that pacey, like you don't really expect like tall dudes being that pacey.
How tall is he?
I think he's like 6'2",
Really? Really? He doesn't look like it when I see him on the pitch.
183,
Semenyo.
183 meters.
Oh, he's 6'3". Oh, sorry, 6 foot flat. 6 foot flat.
Um,
Bro, where are you getting 6'3" from? Like I'm here 6'3", 6 feet. Like that's a big discrepancy. Like,
No, yeah, because I'm reading. He is 183 meters, and then it
oh,
brackets 6 foot flat.
oh.
Yeah.
anyways, your favorite coach, Laurent, Graham Potter,
Yeah, that that guy's catching. He's still on the hot seat.
he is,
So
and
yeah, right
he's
now.
facing Spurs, coming to London Stadium. Honestly,
They might turn up for this game though. West
I
Ham, London
know.
derby.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he's gonna get another week.
Mm.
Really?
I think he's gonna survive another week.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, the best thing that can happen to them. Listen, this is my conspiracy theory. Okay? West Ham lose, and we see the return of the special one.
Jose Hmm. to West Ham.
I mean, he went to Turkey for fuck's sakes. He's gonna be returning to London.
Mm.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, aren't there other candidates like
Nuno.
preferably? Yeah. Because I don't know if I want to see this guy that guy back in this league.
I would
Jose,
love, bro.
Huh?
It would be the press conferences.
Yeah, I guess there's that.
Yo,
Laurent? How do you feel about him? Do you not like him?
Yeah, well, when he was managing, us, when he was, yeah, but
Listen,
like I
that's a
feel like
left.
he has like a dark heart to him that I don't want to like have to deal with this season. I-
he
You
doesn't
should,
want the
you,
Centurions to get ruined.
Bro, you guys should love him, man. The man fucking kick-started the whole Chelsea era, bro. Essentially, won you
Of
guys your first Premier
course.
Leagues, came back, won it again. Like, what do you mean? You guys should be praising him.
Of course. That's why like you don't want to be, to have that guy on the opposition because you know what that guy can do with very little, right? I think he's one of the managers that does who has that ability to win with teams that there's not a lot of money
Look at what he
that
did with
can
United. He finished
yeah
second. He finished
yeah
second, and he said that that was the toughest thing that he's ever done in his
Yeah.
career.
yeah.
I personally think Jose deserves a statue at Chelsea, man. That's my opinion. I think he's what he did for Chelsea. Like I said, he along with Roman Abramovich, he kickstarted the Chelsea era essentially, right? When you
Hmm.
guys your first Premier League in '04, back to backs, some of the best back lines, right? That defensive football, and then came back in 2015 or whatever it was, and then won it again with that Diego Costa team and Hazard in them. Like that guy deserves a trophy, man, or a statue for Chelsea. But in terms of what you guys are saying, and like, well, Laurent, like your fear of him coming back now, at least from a managerial standpoint, what he can do now, I feel like he's kind of washed. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like respectfully, he's getting sacked at the clubs that he's going to now, and like I think he's kind of done as a top manager at the top level. But yeah, he can still
Mm.
manage and whatever. But in terms of like that special one, Stardust that he's got or that we've known him for, I think that's kind of fizzled out now. To be honest,
Jeez.
personally,
Oh, I would love to see him at West Ham. I think it'd be hella entertaining.
it would be. But what do you think he was gonna do? Like he's not gonna do anything with that. You know
No,
what I
but
mean?
he's gonna keep them up. He's gonna have a couple upsets in Carabao Cup or FA Cup, and maybe he'll make it to, you know, make it far in one of those competitions, and
Mm.
make them a proper mid-table team.
Okay, okay. I just want to make sure we're on this. Like, as far as we're concerned, both of our clubs, like a Chelsea or an Arsenal, shouldn't be concerned about a West Ham,
No,
surely.
no, 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 no.
If Jose's there.
Honestly, I just want it for the popcorn factor. I just want to listen to him, like, be like, Jose, you had 10% possession today. He's like, yeah, but I left with 3 points. Like, that quote is just unreal.
Mm.
You remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, man, he's got like many legendary quotes. So I
So,
agree with you. Like for that factor, he would be nice to have back in the league.
um,
Respect. Respect.
so here's the respect, Laurent. Brentford,
Mm,
they host the Centurions, or soon to be Centurions, or shall
mm,
we say the 74 Chelsea FC.
mm.
Tell me, what do you expect from this game? Give me a breakdown, Laurent. You got 5 minutes.
5 minutes, bro. I don't need all
Mm,
that. That's too much
mm,
time to even discuss respectfully.
mm.
But I think we're gonna go out there and get the job done. Tough game, tough game. However, no, I'm confident, confident in the team. What I do worry about though is the injuries that we have picked up, which is something that yeah, I'm gonna have to see. Like I mentioned, actually, the guy that I mentioned last week, Isugu. I don't know if you guys remember him, but yeah, no. So that guy is right, technically the stand-in for Caicedo, right in that defensive midfield role as well. So I consider it, and I think us Chelsea fans do consider that a substantial loss in a way, even though, right, for you guys, who is this guy? Right, what has he done? Did look good in the international, sorry, not in the international, but in preseason friendlies.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's a quality player. So yeah, no, apart from these injuries, which I think could slow us down, or maybe we might take a bit of time to get into the game. But other than that, I have full confidence that the team is going to collect the 3 points.
Who are the injuries that you guys have? Palmer still?
Yeah, so Palmer has a knock. Caicedo was I believe he was called out for something, but I don't know if that's still an issue.
Okay.
I'd have to check. Delap,
Mm.
Colwill, Latvia,
Where the
and
fuck is that guy?
yeah,
Latvia. Like holy, he's always
yeah,
injured.
yeah, and that's another guy too that you can also have in that defensive um, mid role and whatnot, right? So now with like I said with Caicedo. You see what I'm saying? And he
Oh,
already has the
sorry, Ron,
tendency.
I just checked it for you. So Levi Colwell is done for the ACL.
Hmm.
Cole Palmer with a groin problem. Liam Delap, Romeo Lavia, Beno Badiashile. Looks like Caicedo.
What's Caicedo's injury?
I think just a knock.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like even like it's a knock, but you're playing a demanding position plus his style of play too, right?
Mhm.
It's quite rough,
True.
and a knock can turn into something else if you're not
And
careful.
it's starting to get
Eh,
the meat of the season, right? Like their Champions League games are going to be in there. There's going to be FA Cup games now. There's going to be Carabao Cup games now. So it's starting to get to the busy part. So like
Yeah,
that like
right,
to your
right.
point, knock can turn into something that becomes serious.
Exactly, exactly. Which is why, right, if you have, someone who can replace him, for me, it's, you now divide the playing time, right? Or maybe you can even allow the guy to rest, depending on what the formation is and who the opponent is, right? But yeah, but other than that, like I said, I do feel that we have the quality of players to go out there and get those 3 points, and that I think should put us back up at the top of the table if my timing is right based on when the game is, and then we'll see what you guys play 7:30.
Their first
Uh,
game for the first.
yes, 7:30. You guys are waking up in time for that?
I'll be up
Yeah,
because
yeah, for sure.
you know why I'm up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, boy. I got I'm gonna tournament this Saturday, so my first game is at 9 a.m.
Mm,
Yeah, boy, I'm gonna bring my iPad, watch it on the drive up, watch it in between innings. You know, I
okay.
should be done actually by then. Should be done by then. But anyways, the team that we're all chasing currently, FIFA manager, the Liverpool, spending 460 odd mil. They traveled to Turf Moor to face Burnley.
Oh my gosh. Slap. Easy
I,
game.
listen, I don't.
Slap. Boys,
Yeah,
slap. We can keep it moving.
yeah.
Laurent, you see it differently?
No,
Isak gonna score.
yeah,
Isak gonna
yeah.
score his first goal?
That was gonna be my question. Like, who's scoring more goals that game, Isak or Ekitike?
Isaac Arcatike, bro. Salah, bro. I might have to fucking triple captain Salah for this game in my FPL. Like,
Nah, don't waste your triple captain on Salah. He's been shit.
no, don't sleep on that guy ever, man.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I'm Salah, like I'm probably chilling. You know what I mean? I got these young guys coming in. I'm getting old. I don't have to exert myself to the point where I can risk an injury, right? Do all of these. I just move the ball. I move.
No, he's waiting for AFCON, bro.
Brother, you
And
guys,
that too, right? And that too. Legit, that could be like, right? I can, I just have to perform, give a minimum level performance, and I don't have to hit those high notes that I'm known for, right?
come on. You guys really think that that's Salah's mentality? You guys have seen him in this league for a while now, man. That guy is
He's
quoted
won
as
me.
selfish once upon a time, bro. The man, he's gonna want his numbers as much. He's like he reminds me of a Ronaldo in that sense. Like he doesn't care how old he is. He doesn't care who comes in. He still wants to be the guy. Trust me.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but this is probably one of his last chances at doing something at AFCON.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I do think also like from
And
the
like,
international standpoint,
yeah,
I do. Plus, your World Cup is coming up. I think a lot of players too are getting worried of that as well, right? You're not trying to be injured, and especially right, given his age, maybe this could be your last one, right? So
yeah.
there's a lot of things
I
at
think
play
he's
here.
waiting for it for AFCON. I think he's gonna ball out at AFCON, and when he comes back, depending on how they finish, I think he's gonna go on a vengeance the second part of the season. But right now, I think Laurent's bang on. Like I don't think he's gonna do much. I wouldn't waste my triple captain
Crazy.
on him.
No, I'm not gonna triple captain him. But to say I no, he's still. I can't lie. I disagree on that one. I still think he's gonna try and get his numbers. Again, it's an ego thing. Like with Isak coming in, he's gonna still try and prove like, listen, people, like I'm the guy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some friendly competition there. Like that'll be interesting to see.
Well, let's go to the biggest game of the weekend. Manchester Derby, last game of the weekend, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, Sunday. Um, City's got a hell of an injury list. I know, Laurent, you're talking about your injury list, but notable injuries on both sides. These are the big ones. Marmoush,
Oh
Cherki,
shit!
Kovacic, Cunha, Lisandro Martinez,
Yeah, you're right.
and there's like four or five other players that are game time decisions. So
Did you say
Savinho.
Lissandro? Did you say Lissandro Martinez
yeah,
for United or for City?
United.
Oh, okay, because you just named off a bunch of City players and then you
No, I
dropped
said
Lissandro.
no, and then I said Marmoush, Cherki, Kovacic, Cunha, and Martinez.
Yeah, no, so Cunha, Martinez, that's
For the
United.
United
Plus,
side, yeah, yeah.
plus I'm seeing Mount and Dowlow with Knox.
Yeah.
And then
Those are the game time decision. I think John Stones is game time decision. I think
uh
Rico Lewis has game time decision. Um, so there's injuries on both sides. A part of me says,
geez, Achilles. Oh yeah.
Who? Achilles for who?
Kovacic.
Kovacic, yeah, he's done for the year. A part of me says United
Evan's
did
already
it
sold.
last year.
Hmm?
United did it last year.
Yeah, I remember that game. Crazy.
And a part of me says they do it again. Pro-
Not gonna lie, I hope they do. This one's for you, Julian.
Convince
I
me
hear your
CJ, convince me otherwise because I can see it in your face. You're gonna say City are gonna walk in and win.
No, go on. We're here now. You guys, let's give our predictions. What are you guys saying?
Oh wait, this is the game we're also oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we're also predicting that game. Um
Hmm.
I'm gonna save mine for when we get to that segment.
Fam, we're here. I think, right? Are we not?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh shit.
Well, if we're gonna go in order, we can start with the Arsenal game first. Um, let's go in order, Laurent, if because I don't want CJ to, say that we're going out of order in the agenda.
Well, we're here now, fam. Let's discuss.
All right, let's start with Arsenal Forest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Arsenal.
Jeez. Uh,
Yeah, Arsenal win. I think we should all agree on that one.
Oh
I
yeah, we're
mean,
not doing we're not doing scores. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're doing
Guys
our
chopped.
bro.
That water is good.
wait, what happened to the bounce back factor?
Hmm?
Ah, bro. Oh, you're gonna say draw?
Hmm? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go with a draw.
This
Wow.
guy doesn't respect us, bro.
Wow.
I'm just taking it from you. You guys said the bounce back factor. Shit, I'm willing to like roll the dice on that.
So then what
Okay.
do you say? What do you say with Chelsea heading to Brentford with your midfield depleted?
Bro, you already know. You already know our answers.
Hmm.
There's no there's no way I give you that kind of prediction or whatever, and then I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna draw. Nah, bro. Like we have to you know what I mean? You don't get to 100 by drawing your way.
I
Ah,
mean, you get to 100 by cheating apparently. 74 times.
Yo, you know what? Actually, hold on. I'm gonna take my fuck. I think I'm gonna take back my Arsenal and Forest prediction. I'm gonna go Arsenal.
yeah, bro. There's no way you truly believe that.
I'm gonna go Arsenal.
If it was at the Forest ground, I would still predict Arsenal to win. But if you said draw, I'd be like,
Yo, but anyhow you guys draw, I'm gonna be so fucking cheese, bro. That if that result is not a win for you guys,
No, I'll be cheese too, bro, for sure.
I'm gonna go Chelsea win because I just feel like it's gonna be too much for Brentford.
yeah, you probably just. I'm gonna go Chelsea win after you saw that I changed
No,
my
no.
shit to. Listen, yo, you can hate freely on Chelsea, bro. I'm not gonna like fucking hold it against you, bro.
Let's say you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Arsenal win, Chelsea win.
All right.
Hey.
Manchester Derby.
Yeah, I think this is where we're gonna split ways.
I
Why?
think can I just predict what everyone's gonna predict?
All right, go.
CJ's gonna say City, you're gonna say draw, I'm gonna say draw.
I was actually gonna say United.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
Are you actually going with United?
Yeah, I looked at the injury list. That's extensive, bro. And even Knox game day decisions, that doesn't sound to me like 100%. And United, I think, yo, they might just like how you saying Graham Potter might, conjure something up with that. I think Ruben Amorim has every incentive to fucking pull a rabbit out of the hat this time around. So
Wow.
I'm going United. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, both managers need a win.
One more than the other, I'd say.
I mean,
Who
you could
who
argue.
who needs it more, you think?
Ruben.
Well, I don't know about that.
I
Uh
mean, you could argue that Pep needs it more after getting slapped up by Spurs at home.
Pep's had a poor start, man.
yeah, but I think even Pep can lose this game and not have to worry about his job, in my opinion.
No, no, yeah, he doesn't have to worry about his job for
Yeah.
sure. But
Where if Ruben Amorim loses this, um
Depends how he loses.
yeah, you're right. You're right. But at the
I
same
think if
time,
it's I
it's
think
like,
if it's like a last second, like it's 2-2, they're playing for a draw and something crazy happens, they get a pen, Holland scores 3-2, like something like that. Like you got to give it to Emram. He went to that, yeah, took them all the way to the 96th minute and they just lost because of a VAR call, you know? Like I think the United fan base would not, they would be upset, but they can stomach it. Whereas if they go there and they lose like 4-5-0, they're gonna be calling for his head.
but honestly, I feel like just the way their games have been going, I swear what you just described has been a theme for these guys. Conceding late goals and whatnot, right? And sometimes even making those late comebacks. But I just feel like he can't lose this game, in my opinion. If I'm him, and if I'm like the team, or sorry, the supporters of the club, it's like you have to somehow figure out a way to win this game. Build some momentum until you have room to breathe. But right now, I don't think he has any room to breathe whatsoever. Especially like I think the effects of whoever they lost to, bro. You talked about like part-timers. I don't know what club they faced.
Grimsby Town.
Yeah, yeah, Grimsby Town. Yeah, it sounds like an arcade, bro. Like where I bring my kids to like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, no, I think that's still hot on people's minds at that club. Um and yeah, they have to win, in my
Ah,
opinion.
man. I'm gonna say City.
Really, eh? Okay.
wow, you got all three of ours wrong. I'm going draw.
Oh wow, wow,
Yeah,
great.
I'm going
You
draw.
really think this game is gonna end in a draw? I
Yeah,
can confidently say someone is winning this shit.
someone's winning.
Yeah, like I do not, and I feel like it's gonna get like pretty open, bro. And the way United play as well, uh,
But
yeah, I
if it
don't know
gets
if,
open, even like I would think that City would win more because they have more structure
but they're
than
also so vulnerable, bro. The way they've been conceding too, like, Plus,
Yeah,
I
but
think
like
Benjamin Tesco is gonna get his opportunity now. They've been calling for him to start.
yeah, but like okay, I don't really care who they start up top. I'm talking about their midfield. If you're playing fucking Casemiro and Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes, I would be like I'd be licking my lips. Casemiro can barely run. And Ugarte can't even make a pass from here to fucking the like 5 feet in front of him.
Mm.
I'd be licking my lips. I'd be like, dude, Casemiro, you're playing Casemiro? I'd be laughing. And you know that's what Amran's gonna do.
Wait, you don't think he's gonna have a change in personnel or formations or
No, he's
whatnot?
gonna he's gonna play the three back. He's gonna play like a 3-5-2.
Well, let me see what their options even are, or how they were
you know
set up
what?
last.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm changing mine too. I think City wins. You're
Shit.
right. You get good convincing job there.
Fuck, I should have not done that. I would have had the edge.
Hmm. If they draw now, I'm gonna be cheesed.
Should I change mine to a draw now?
After all that, imagine.
Oh fuck. Well, another one's in the books, fellas. Another one's in the books.
Yeah, you can even have Mainu there, man. That's what I'm like.
He
That
doesn't
guy,
rate Manu. He does not rate Manu, bro. He's not gonna start Manu. Trust me.
Yeah, which is crazy because I swear that was the one player that was actually like
Yes,
showing up for those guys
yes.
when they were down, bro. Like
Mhm.
I'm talking down bad. So that's yeah, no, Mainu, yeah. Yeah, no, I would even say you can even try actually I don't know if I would no. I was gonna say Dorku if you can if maybe if he has the qualities to no, but I can't see that actually.
Dorgu
Yeah, I can't
in
see
center
that.
midfield?
I can't see that. Yeah, the more I think about it, no, I can't see
I
that.
would love that. If
Yeah,
for my prediction, I would love that. Put Dorgu there.
yeah.
Put Dorgu, Ugarte, and Casemiro.
Yeah, but honestly, man, you never know, because sometimes like you see managers taking players and putting them in positions that you never would think that that player could play in, and it works.
I think
Broski.
if your name is Pep
Dorgu is
Guardiola, Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, Conte,
Mm.
you
heck
know,
Arnie Slot. Look at his straight face. Yo,
all right. So,
Shabazz at right back, man. Masterstroke.
you know what to do. Hit
Okay,
that
but wait.
like, hit that subscribe. We're not going to entertain this bullshit anymore. This man said,
Shabazz at right back, fam. When did you
you
ever
know,
think in a million years that would happen? Hmm.
Yeah, that's a question for you, Mehrdad.
Yeah,
I don't
hundred
know why
percent. It's
you're
a
looking up.
question.
there, there's there's poor reception. I'm using my old laptop. I can't hear you.
Ah, that's funny.